Hi, I'm Dave Austin, and this is my first Facebook Live, and I'm here at Fort Sam in San Antonio, Texas. It's been an amazing day, and I'm going to have a host of folks that are with me that are incredible. So stay with us. I've got Jason Botts, who played for the Texas Rangers. I have the beautiful Catherine, and I always help me out here, huh? Garceau. I just got to make sure. French always freaks me out, but we're talking about resilience through adversity. And I'm even going to have Betsy Westhaver in, Tony Bodo. It's a host of people that have a different angle on this. So stay with us throughout. Now, when we talk about resilience through adversity, we're here signing books of the Be a Beast book and getting people into our new magazine, Extreme Focus magazine, that's coming out shortly. Really excited about it. But what just took place just a little bit ago, I've got to start this off with that. A woman came up and she said, I want to let you know, I just joined the Army. I'm 41 years old and I just joined the Army. And I'm going, wow, that's like incredible, joining at 41. And then she says, meet my daughter-in-law. Her daughter-in-law's there, and meet my grandson. And then she tells me a little bit more. My son was killed in Afghanistan, her husband. My daughter was killed. And you talk about resilience and talk about optimism, and she just decided, no. And we said, oh, we're so sorry for your loss. She says, don't feel sorry. We're serving our country, and I am so glad to be out there doing it. Doesn't mean that I don't have pain. Doesn't mean that I haven't had, oh boy, look at all these people on. I got to look at this. This is amazing. My first time on, I realized you're supposed to look. Hey, Shane Parrott, baby. This is how it all got started with Soldiers for Life. Shane was there when we first said we're going to go out and bring the Beast training to the military. We want to give back. We're going to bring the book. We're going to bring the training. We're going to bring them. Well, we didn't even know about the magazine. The magazine is incredible. So anyway, I just got a shout out to you. And Stacy, oh my gosh, look at all these great people that are coming on. Thank you. But anyway, back to this amazing woman. How is she dealing with her pain? She decided, well, the best way for me is take action. Take positive action. I'll be honest with you. We just had the presidential election, and it was challenging for a lot of people. Some are out there celebrating. Some are, hooting their horns. Others are feeling pain because maybe didn't feel the strongest about Donald Trump. Well, I'm not one that is that excited about it, I'll be honest with you. But you know what? It's an election. We're free to be in America. What we're here and our servicemen and women do to create the opportunities for us to vote and give it our best shot. And you know what? Now we need to come together. Now we gotta, love is unity. Hate is division. And there's been a lot of hate in this whole election process. Some of the people that I used to really, think of, admire, I saw their posts, prior to this, and their posts were so hateful. I thought, is that someone I want to spend any time with? No. I'm going to spend time with the people who are compassionate, people who are in love, and people who don't give up their integrity because they say, oh, well, now we don't have a president without integrity. Well, if we stay who we are, if we stay in and we don't give up who we are, how can someone else control who we are? We can't control conditions, but we can control how we, act and how we take it on with our way of doing things. So when you talk about adversity and you talk about staying resilient, always bring yourself to every situation and look for what you can be. Don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. I'm here, even if it was not the election that I necessarily saw or wanted, I'm not going to give up on our men and women on the armed forces. I'm going to pray that good comes out of this, and I'm going to hold on to my integrity. I'm going to keep my integrity and be a light for others to see that. And I'm going to keep serving, and I'm going to keep honoring those that go out there and defend this right that we have to be free. So I know I got a little bit carried away on that, but being here at, with all these incredible people. We had a gentleman just a few moments came up to me, and I signed a book for him, and he had lost his leg. And I mean, what he sacrificed. And it's just right here, and I'm seeing it here. So I'm very, very passionate about we all need to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Doesn't matter, no one can tell me that I have to do this or that if that's not who I am. I'm choosing to always stay in my integrity. You'll either like it or not, but it's who I am fully. I keep seeing unbelievably great people. Hey, Prince and Glenn. Wow, Jason Botts, who's going to come on in a moment. This is incredible. I'm excited to be here at Fort Sam to see what I'm seeing. I had a chance with the Extreme Focus magazine. I got a chance 2 weeks ago. I was with a lot of our Medal of Honor winners, and we saw a private screening of Hacksaw Ridge. And if you haven't seen the movie, it just came out. It's incredible. In our magazine, I had a chance to interview the producer. Well, his story behind the movie is incredible. You talk about resilience. You talk about staying the course. I mean, 16 years he was trying to make this movie. Mel Gibson turned it down twice. And it all started when he was 10 years old and he read a book about Desmond Doss. And it changed his life. And that change of his life from what Desmond Doss had done all the way up to 16 years ago, now that he's a filmmaker, he went to Desmond and said, we need to make a film about you. Well, I'll tell you what, if you haven't seen that movie, go out and see it. You want to see resilient optimism? You want to see a guy who is truth about what he's committed to no matter what? That movie will leave you speechless, I will tell you that. It's an amazing movie, and I'm proud that we have the story behind the story in our magazine. And pretty soon you're going to get a chance to sign up. We're going to give you, because you're friends of ours, a free subscription to it. But right now, I want to, as I said, we have some amazing people with me here that are sharing their gifts to our men and women of the military. And I'm first going to bring up Jason Botts, who is the beast of all beasts. We might have to move this little thing we have on here. But Jason, come in. I would love to have you tell a story. When I had the privilege of coaching Jason when he played for the Texas Rangers, and you had a moment where, it was tough. It was really tough. You were in AAA, you're ready to come up to the majors, and I'm going to be quiet. Let them know how you dealt with and how it became a positive, even in the face of adversity.
Absolutely. It's a story that I love to tell. I think one of the reasons why it's important to me, because it created a new habit. I think this was kind of a defining moment in not only my career, but in my life as well. And back in 2007, I didn't make the major league team out of spring training. I was a little disappointed about it. I was ready to give it my all, go to AAA, get back to the major leagues. I got off to a horrible start. I think I hit about 150 for the first few weeks of the season. And that was the first time that I reached out actually to Dave. And I'd hired Dave, and he and I went to work. And one of the things that he really instilled upon me at that time was how to find the positives in any situation, in any setback, any adversity. And early in the season, I was making a lot of outs. Even when I started working with him, every night was 0 for 4, 0 for 3, 0 for 5. And so I would sit down and I would write in the journal every good and positive thing that I did that night, even if I didn't get a hit. And over the next couple of weeks, that energy, that momentum started to snowball, and I just caught on fire like I'd never been before in my career, and it lasted for months. And going into about the second week of July, a few weeks before what they call the trade deadline. Give me back.
You're cut off.
Oh, I'm cut off because I'm up in the camera?
You're a beast.
All right. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me now? Can I get a sound check? All right.
There you go.
So now where was I?
You're getting
Holy
hits,
cow.
hits.
You look good now.
Oh, there we go. All right. I got the camera and the camera. It's like Inception or something. I don't know. So anyway, we got 2 or 3 weeks before the trade deadline. I'm on fire, and the whole rumor in the organization is I'm going to get called up to the major leagues at the trade deadline. Trade deadline is July 31st in Major League Baseball. It's the last day a team can make a trade, and at that point I was on fire, but they didn't have any room for me at the major league level. So going in about 10 days now, still staying strong. The rumors I'm going to get called up once they make a trade, but 10 days out, I'm playing the outfield in Memphis, Tennessee. I run in after a shallow fly ball. I kind of run on my heels a little bit sometimes. Not proper technique, not proper form, big guy. Balls bounce around. I reach over at the last second. The ball hits my fingertip on my bare hand, breaks my finger. I didn't know until I went to the hospital later, but I looked down, the fingernails ripped off, blood's everywhere, there's a big old cut, and that was it. Out of the game, straight to the hospital. As soon as the doctor says, hey, it's fractured, I start freaking out, obviously, right? Because they're saying, you're going to miss at least, 7-10 days. And, even if I come back in 7 days, though, it gives me 3 days before the trade deadline. But as a professional baseball player, you miss a couple days, your timing, it can fall out of sync, can fall out of whack, and basically you have to start all over. I was deathly afraid of that happening. So I'm sitting there, and you ever get in those modes where one negative thought leads to a bigger negative thought, and then a bigger and bigger, and next thing you know, the whole world is crashing down? That's the state that I was in by the time I got home from the hospital, after getting my finger all stitched up and splintered. I get to the hotel, and I'm worked up. I'm in a horrible, horrible negative state. I finally called Dave. And I'm like, Dave, what is the positive in this situation? Because that's what we've always been working on. What's the positive? Dave answers the phone. I lay this all on him. Okay, Dave, what's the positive? And he's like, let me call you back in 24 hours. Let me call you back tomorrow. He didn't have an answer. And, and that was really before even RESPA came about. And, basically RESPA, where he gave himself 24 hours. And so we agreed to talk the next day. And so I went back to that journal that I kept, where I wrote down all those positive habits. And already talking with Dave, I asked myself a new question. I asked myself, what's the positive in the situation? So my brain's already starting to work on it. And I'm starting to list down, what are the potential positive things that could be happening from being hurt right now? I'm missing a week of baseball, which for a moment there I thought was the end of the world. The first thing that pops in my mind was like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I've just played 100 games in a row. 1 week of rest will refill me, re-energize me, and I'll be able to go even stronger for the last 2 months of the season. That's fact. That was a huge positive. So I write that down. The next thing that I thought of was the power visualization. Dave taught me that habit that summer to visualize all my bats every morning or before every game. I visualized my 4 or 5 bats that I expected to get that night. So I'm thinking to myself, I was like, man, I've had huge, incredible results this summer from doing that. I was like, what if every game, these next 7 games I'm not playing, I visualize 5 at-bats in the top half of the inning and then 5 more the bottom half of the inning. So not only I'm getting 10 at-bats an inning for 9 innings, now I'm visualizing 90 at-bats a day. Which is a huge commitment, but what else did I have to do? I had nothing else to do but watch baseball and visualize. I couldn't swing a bat with one hand. And that ended up being the third positive thing I wrote down, was I could use this week to work on some mechanical stuff. So I broke my right hand. I couldn't swing with this hand, but you know what? I could do things with this hand. There's some drills and some exercises. That alone will also help me keep my timing, because they're throwing balls to me. I'm able to still swing with one hand. So that was another positive. The fourth thing I think we did was we spent so much time talking about visualizing. We talked about the potential to heal. There's been a lot of research, a lot of studies. People have healed faster from injuries, from sickness, from illness, by visualizing. So we went to work to make sure that by those 7 days, when the 7-day disabled list was over, that I'd be ready to play. 7 days later, I got cleared to play. I stepped into the batter's box. First at bat, no kidding, no lie, 3-run home run, dead center field. Next at bat, line drive base hit. Third at bat, line drive base hit to the other field. 3 hits. Next two games, still on fire. July 31st, I get called up to the major leagues, and I got that chance to play every single day for the rest of the year at the major league level. That's not cool. What was really cool was me, many years later, get in touch with Dave about a year and a half ago. We hadn't talked in, 6 or 7 years. I was wanting to become a coach. I'd reached out to him. I call him up, and he's like, you know what, I got this Beast Mode On program. He's like, I got to go on in 20 minutes. I want to talk to you some more, but let's do it afterwards. And so he's like, I want you to join this call. I want you to see how special, how awesome this is. I want you to get on the call. Here's the number, dial in. So I get on there, and Dave's teaching, I think it was RESPA that day. It was my first time to hear RESPA. And he tells this story at some point during the call. I hadn't thought about this story since 2007, right? And as I'm going through it all, I start remembering a different part of the story that I hadn't thought of, or that he didn't tell because he didn't know about it at the time. The game that I came back and I got those hits, I hit the home run, that night I went out and hung out with one of my really good friends who was on a different team. Now what was really important about that, if I didn't get hurt, I know the type of focus, the type of person I was at that time. I was tired. I wouldn't go out and hang out with buddies, even if it was someone I really loved. Just that late in the season, you're trying to conserve all your resources. So something like that didn't happen, but I had a week of rest, and I felt like I could handle it and go out, have a little bit of a good time, and be ready to go the next day. I also know at that time in my career, if I had struggled, if I'd have gone out on that field, if I didn't spend that time visualizing, if I didn't spend that time working on my mechanics still and come back just as hot as ever, I would have found the positives in it. I wouldn't have gone frustrated, but I probably would have gone home and planned for the next day. I wouldn't have gone out and enjoyed myself. The reason why it was so important for me to be at dinner that night was my buddy was the first night I met his sister. And it was a huge reason why I went there that night, was to hang out with his sister. And I ended up kissing her that night too. And about 2 years later, we ended up getting married. And we have 2 amazingly beautiful children together. We're actually no longer together, but I mean, my children would not be here, these amazing 2 children, and we co-parent the hell out of them together. Still amazing friends, and none of that would be possible without this massive, what I thought was a setback at the time. But it wasn't a setback. There was a gift in it all. There was bigger gifts, and there's probably still gifts in it that I'll tell about 5 years down the road. That was the first time that I kind of had developed that mentality to find the positives in a big setback, some type of adversity. And over the years, that was 8, 9 years ago, my strength in the habit has only grown stronger. Bigger problems, bigger setbacks have come and gone, and I've found bigger gifts because of that kind of, that principle, that mentality to find the positive, find the gift in it. And that was kind of the story. The principle that we teach here with Extreme Focus is, the principle of the koala. And think of a koala. Koala's easygoing, always chill, always relaxed. And we have that choice to treat life. Whenever something happens in our life, something big, massive, we have the choice to just kind of breathe about it, relax, chill, and know that there's a big gift behind it all. It's there, but you have to seek it. So anyways, man, it was a pleasure and honor. It's also my first Facebook Live opportunity. People are walking by, hanging in with Last Pro type focus. But anyway,
I love it, brother. I love you, man.
You.
So we're here, we're at the PX at Fort Sam. We're right as people come in, and we've been signing books and meeting people all day. And I love this because one of the things that Jason just said, it's about staying consistent with it. He says he's even better at it today than you were then. So anything, it's about developing winning habits. Because how do you become better at anything? You change the wiring in your brain to keep working for you, but it takes it over and over again. Prince, thanks for the yes. This is kind of cool. Tracy's on. Hey, hi Tracy.
That's good eyesight.
I got good eyesight. You can't see it. Hey, Tracy, meet Jason. Tracy has a brother that you might know, Tim McGraw.
Oh.
Tim McGraw does a little bit. Tracy runs an
that guy.
amazing foundation. You're doing awesome. As we get out here and do awesome, we want to do more things of awesome with you too. Awesome. Oh, Mark's on too. This is, man,
Jeff.
Priscilla. Hey, Jeff
Hi,
is
Jeff.
on. Hey,
I love Jeff.
I love it. I love it. As you're saying, great job.
I almost broke out singing Just to See You Smile there.
Just to see. Yeah, we can do it now. I love it. So, as I said, we're going to have different guests on because we're here giving our best, giving our heart and soul to our men and women of our armed forces. Man, I tell you what, I can't give enough, to tell you the truth. But we also have the precious Catherine here, who won a bronze medal in the Australian Olympics. And we talk about sometimes when you're going through change in life, like going from an Olympic athlete that has to just, 60 hours a week. She was a synchronized swimmer, and I don't know if you all know, she has an amazing book called Swimming Out of Water, that you want to learn about the discipline and what she learned through that process. It's incredible. So I want to, without further ado, you're out here giving your best here. Come on board.
Thank you, Dave. Really great to be here. Hey, my first live on Facebook. So, gosh, there's so many stories I wanted to share, and when I was thinking about transition, I realized that transition is always happening, right? So we're always moving and wanting to expanding ourselves, and when we're doing that, we're letting go of our old way of being. Well, some of the tools I use as a synchronized swimmer and I've expanded upon in my coaching practice really is about developing courage. And courage, as we have here behind us, you might not see it, but it's a lion, Core the lion. And I often actually get people saying, wow, you're so courageous, you just moved to a city, or you just dare to do this coaching, or whatever it is that I'm doing. And courage isn't something that we really have, maybe, that we don't think we have, but it comes as a muscle. It's kind of like going to the gym. You've got to use it so we feel it more and more. So I think that courage is a value that we can embody, but it also comes with practice. And we might not think we have it until we really take a step forward. And one of the things I remember as in my career, I didn't make the 1999 Pan Am team. So in synchronized swimming, we have to make the Olympic team, obviously, and the trials are months before we perform in the Olympics. So for us, it was Sydney 2000. Our trials were beforehand, and for the Pan Am Games, which came in '99, months before, I actually didn't make the team. So I came 11th. They were taking the top 10 to the Winnipeg, where the Pan Ams were. And it was devastating. Just like Jason shared his story, I had many of those failures, and Pan Am was really one of my biggest failures. And I remember, just being so afraid that it was the end. Like I was not going to make it to Sydney after all the years of work I had already done. And the coaches decided to actually take us to Winnipeg anyways, to have us experience from an observer effect the games. So we went, we took, notes, and I remember, having a psychologist back then really inspiring us to make the most out of it, turning the negative setback into an opportunity. And that's really what I did personally. Watching everything from an observer effect allows us to have insights, to see things we wouldn't be seeing if we're not in the pool. For us, we were in the pool, obviously. So I was not in the pool, but I was watching it from an observer effect, taking notes, looking at what I could improve, not only as a personal swimmer, but also for the team. And I share all this now, not because it was a huge breakthrough in my own performance. I got to come out of it stronger, wiser, and I made the Olympic team, of course, swam both programs, placed 5th and 6th in the different trials. So I not only got to go to Sydney, but I was in the pool performing for both programs that got us to be on the podium. And I share all this in the theme of transition, because if we think about it, transition time gives us time, literally. It gives us a moment of maybe having the time to discover who we are, or who we are again, because we're always recreating ourselves, what we really want to be focusing on, what we've learned from this other part of our life, how we can wrap that up and bring it to this other, passion or next chapter in our life. So in that way, transition gives us a gift of time, of becoming an observer of ourselves, of taking, really great notes on, not just literally, but really taking that extra contemplation time to discover ourselves anew. And I think in all the many transitions I've been through, I now know that when I'm with clients now, offering my work physically, mentally, emotionally, I'm delivering something that has come from all the many transitions that I've lived. So not only am I, taking that depth of courage that I developed in my sport, that knowledge I gained in really taking my body to the next step, the wisdom I got from, healing an eating disorder and really going the depths of addiction. But all of that is what I bring forward to the high performers I get to work with today. So again, if whatever transition you're in and whatever, passion you bring to others, everyone's got these times of transition, and I think it's just such a gift to be part of Extreme Focus and bringing these tools to all these different crowds that can really benefit from principles that hit not only a core lion chord of courage, but also of taking the time to just not fearing from rediscovering and recreating ourselves anew every time. So thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks.
That's so awesome.
Yes.
So
All right.
awesome. Thank you. We're having fun here, and what great wisdom that I'm so blessed to be around these great people that now are extreme focus coaches that are doing such great work out there. Not only have they been stars in their own life, but now they're helping others find that light, that love within their own lives. And through the adversity, through change, through transition, we all can be a light for others to grab hold of their own light. And that's really what we do with the whole beast mode concept and with the extreme focus coaching. So now I want to also, we have so many great people here with us. I'm going to bring in Betsy Westhaver, and she is such a rock star. I am so blessed that I have had the opportunity to coach her and then see her just rise into a rock star. She speaks all over now. She is doing such incredible things. So Betsy, I want you to share with us. You're going. I hope you can all hear us. There's noise around us. Just, that's all being part of all the people here. Yeah, there we go. So Betsy.
Okay,
You
hi
got it.
everybody. Oh my gosh, we're having such a great day here at the PX. I'm so honored to be here. I'm a military mom, so I have just a very huge special place in my heart for the men and women in uniform that, what they do is incredible, absolutely incredible. And so being a part of the Extreme Focus team, I've had the chance to really learn and apply the BEAST principles and the impact it's had in my life, just in a very short amount of time, honestly, has been incredible. So for me, it's been more about my career. And in retrospect, I was able, through the coaching that I've gotten from Dave, I was able to realize that I've never really been all that intentional. I have had some great opportunities professionally that have come my way, and I would just take them. I'd be like, oh, that sounds good, I need to do that, or ooh, that might be a really good career choice, I should do that, instead of figuring out first, what is it I really would love in my life, what is it I really want to do, where am I heading, rather than just taking things that fall in my lap. So through this coaching, I learned the art and the skill behind being intentional, and that has made such a difference in my life, so much so that it actually landed me as part of the Extreme Focus team, because I want to make the kind of impact on other people that Dave and his team and his coaching has helped me achieve in my life as a result. So I would say one of the things that when Dave was talking about winning habits, one of the things I do every day when I write in my journal, I end my journal entry with, these are my intentions for the day. So just knowing that what you want to have happen in each and every day is so important, and being aware of that intention. And even like when we came here, before we've gotten the van to come here to the PX, we sat down in the hotel lobby and said, sorry, we just had a little marketing malfunction, shall we call it? We just had a crash of a sign, but it's all good, no injuries to report. But anyway, before we came here today, as a group, we sat down and kind of huddled and talked about what are our intentions for today? What do we want to do? What kind of impact do we want to have on the people that we will be meeting today? And I can tell you, I believe we made a great impact, but the people we met have had a phenomenal impact on us. It has just been an incredible day. Met people that you'll be able to read about in the Extreme Focus magazine, and it's just been absolutely a very, very special day. So anyway, that's it for me. Thank you,
same
Dave.
here. Thank you. So she is the editor extraordinaire. She is amazing. The magazine, all of you, you're going to get a free subscription. It is amazing. The stories behind it. I think I was saying earlier about.
I like to give Betsy hugs too. Hugs, I come in.
See what happens when you get Extreme Focus training? Good things happen.
Well, I want to say with the magazine, I was saying earlier, I don't know if I finished, we have a story about the story behind Hacksaw Ridge. Jason wrote an amazing story about Nate Boyer, who is a Green Beret that became an NFL football player and is doing incredible things.
Amazing human being.
Yeah, amazing human being. We have so many great stories. In fact, now we're going to bring up Tony Bodo, who is an amazing human being in himself. I mean, I am so privileged to call him a partner with our Beast Mode Live programs. The guy is brilliant. And he did an article with the guy who ran, oh, here comes, Tony did an article on the gentleman who ran Apple for Steve Jobs. The stories, no, these stories have not been told before, so you're going to get it through the Extreme Focus magazine, through the pen of Tony Bodo. Tony, will you come in now and share some of your wisdom? Move in there.
Absolutely. You know, this has been just a phenomenal experience being here with the military at Fort Sam Houston, because we're able to see the impact we're having right away. People are walking in, they're not sure they want this, and then once we talk to them, once we start giving them what Beast Mode is about, the extreme mental focus, what you can do with it, what Dave's been able to do with athletes, and then what they can take in their life and move forward. We've got colonels, we've got majors, we've had lieutenants and captains, we've got master sergeants all coming up because they want to be part of this, they want to understand this, they want it for themselves. And so I think it's been so valuable to be part of this engagement for me, because I've actually forced myself to step outside of my comfort zone. I've been the one on the front lines today actually inviting people in, inviting them to join us at the table and get a free book and that. And my normal situation would be to allow the resistance to push me away. So if someone says no, I just walk away from it. But today I got to be in my LASPRO, laser focus on what I wanted to do, and that was I wanted to introduce people to this program because I know what it can do. It's what it's done for me, what it's done for thousands of other people here. So it's time for us to step forward and do that, and that's what I was able to do. Really step in and become that person who invites others in, and I invite you into this program. I invite you to be here whenever you can. Join us for the 30-day challenges. Join us by reading the book and studying the material we've got there. The Beast Mode principles have been so impactful in my life. And I would say I knew them before I learned them, because when I was growing up, I was actually born with a crippled foot. I was missing a bone in my foot, and I didn't walk until the age of 5. I was in casts, I was in wheelchairs and that. And so I learned persistence, but I didn't understand how to use that persistence effectively. We've all come through challenges in our life. It took me 5 years to learn how to walk. Now I walk, now I run, now I play basketball and those types of things. But if I hadn't been persistent, if I hadn't really focused myself, I would not be where I am today. So what I want to say is, if you really understand where you want to go, and you know you've got gifts within you, you want to be part of the Beast Mode program, part of the Beast Mode family, because you will get it done. You will have the principles you need. Dave's the guide, and the animals are the guide. Roger's the guide for us. We can get things done together. 18 months ago, Dave and I came up with this crazy idea of supporting the entire military, bringing Beast Mode to the entire military. Every soldier, every sailor, every Marine, every airman, having books, having the magazine. We didn't even conceive of the magazine yet, but having books, having live events where we're teaching. And we've been working on this for 18 months, and here we are today, doing this weekend, impacting hundreds and thousands of lives. So with that, I want to tell you to be LASPRO, laser focused, be persistent, and get it done. Dave?
Hey, thanks, Tony. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you all of you that are out here with us. I mean, oh my gosh. We're just honored. As Tony just said, the persistence that we took. We've had a lot of, challenges to get here, to be here in front of the men and women of our service. But now that we're here, whatever it took, it might have been challenging, but you know what? It's all worth it when we see and we talk to someone and goes, wow, man, this is what I needed. This is what I needed. And, my dad, when he was at Iwo Jima, chaplains aren't supposed to lead the charge. They're supposed to come in after the beaches are cleared. And when they had cleared the beaches, the admiral goes, it's time to go to shore now. Where's Chaplain Austin? And the young sailor said, well, sir, he was on the first boat this morning. So my dad decided, with a cross on his helmet, without a weapon, was going to get out in front because that's where he felt he was needed most. And when they rose that flag at Iwo Jima, he was on his belly because this machine gun fire was still going off when it first was risen. And he gave communion under that flag. And when we asked Dad, because he did the same thing at Saipan, I'm lucky to be alive. Why? Why did you do it? Why did you do it? And he just said, because that's where I was needed most. Where are you needed most? when you live a life, when you really value giving and being in a place to lead others, oh my gosh, it's such a giving and receiving. What we did today, yeah, I think we changed and helped lives, but we all were touched and received in such a way. I see Nancy. Hi, Nancy. I saw my own son, Chase Austin, is on the line. Thank you, Chase, for supporting us and all the great videos you've done for us in the whole Beast Mode On program that makes it very special because of your talent. I'm very, very proud of you, and I'm proud of all my boys. But I hope this has been something for you that can open your eyes to how do you move forward when you go through times where maybe you're in pain, maybe you don't understand, as I said, with this presidential election, maybe you're in pain, maybe you're in joy. Whatever it is, help someone else along the way. Do it in love, not in ha ha ha, you know, we did this, we did that, because then there's still a disconnect, there's a separation. I think it's time for us to unite. I think it's time there's strength when we care about others so much that even if they have differences, we're able to see through those and find where we are the same, where we can rise up. And again, how I started this whole Facebook Live was, who are you? Keep showing up as you no matter what. No one can take away your integrity. If someone is outside of your integrity, you don't have to live into theirs. You can be the eagle. In our Beast Mode On program, we talk about the eagle in rock. Integrity is the rock. And eagles have a lung capacity that's greater, so they can fly higher than other birds. So when crows come pecking at their feet, rather than peck back, they're big animals, they could correct, you know, they go, no, you know, I'm not even going to mess with this. I'm going to rise above it. I'm going to fly up above it. And that's what we all have a choice to do in our lives, is flying above. And as I said earlier, don't be part of the problem, be part of the solution. And so many of you that I'm looking on here who have joined, I know that you're ones that live that way. I've seen several of you going, wow, this is so awesome to have you in there, because, you know, positive energy is contagious. Well, negative energy is contagious too. So let all of us commit to being that positive energy that's contagious, that helps others find that positive energy that can take them to new heights. So thank you for being on our first Facebook Live. Awesome. Thank you.